What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we need to talk about stimulus, in particular stimulus check coming from certain states. I have a list of 7 states that are sending out stimulus checks here in 2023, and I want to just break this down, what's coming and in what amount. Also, I want to read you this from this article. It says, while economic stimulus checks were sent out to Americans on several occasions over the course of the pandemic, it looks like the federal government isn't looking to send out any more. However, some states are planning to send resident stimulus checks in 2023. And I've been saying this for a while, that the federal government will not be sending out a stimulus check in the form of, hey, here's $500, go and spend it as you wish. That's not going to happen from the federal government, but it will happen from certain states. I have a list right here of some of the states that are actually considering this, but I want to get to one other thing first before we jump into this list. The first thing I just want to say is when it comes to stimulus from the federal government is continuing to give out stimulus, just not in the form of a check. For instance, you know those student loan payments that people haven't had to pay for about 3 years? Well, those amount to about $400 per month. It's about $393 per month on average that a person saves. And guess what? We consider that stimulus because it does help stimulate the economy and it does put money into the American people's pockets. Now, let's get to the new stimulus, okay? Stuff that's going to be coming out in 2023. And if you have any questions on any of this stuff, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Let's get right down to it. First one is California. It says the estimated amount is $200 to $1,050. Depending on your income, filing status, and whether you have dependents, right? That's what it depends on. It says residents of the Golden State might be familiar with California's stimulus payments, once referred to as the middle class tax refunds, which are available to citizens who filed 2022 or 2020 California state tax by October 15th, 2021 and lived in California full time for a minimum of 6 months in 2020. It says as long as the Californians couldn't be claimed as 2020 tax dependents on someone else's return and did not exceed the California adjusted gross income, the AGI, $250,000 for single people. Married couples will get $500,000, and you could get your payment here in 2023. Okay, that's for the state of California. There's other things as well. Again, this is updated from this morning, or actually yesterday morning, so just keep that in mind. But then we got Idaho. It says greater of $75 per family member or 12% of the tax liability before credits, other taxes, payments for the first year's rebate, equal to the greater of $600 for married couples filing joint or $300 for all other filers, or 10% of the 2020 tax liability before credits, additional taxes, payments, and donations. So again, Idaho is going to be sending out some payments here in 2023, but it's not going to be as big as what you're getting from California. That's just kind of the nature of this. California is sending out bigger payments because they do bring in a little bit more money, so they do have that surplus almost every single year. In Maine, the estimated amount is $450 for single filers, $900 for joint filers on 2021 state tax returns. It says there's a new payment for 2023 for Maine residents who lived in the state full-time and filed the tax return for 2021 no later than October 31st, 2022. It's called the Winter Energy Relief Payment. And again, I just want to bring this up. It doesn't matter what they call these stimulus checks. It's stimulus. That's all it is. Okay? If it's the Winter Energy Relief Payment, it could be a property tax, a rebate, tax credit, whatever. Right? Low income earners credit. They could name it whatever they want to. It doesn't matter. It's just stimulus. Okay? It says as long as the federal adjusted gross income reported on the 2021 Maine tax return was less than $100,000, single taxpayers and married couples filing separate returns or $150,000 for head of household, $200,000 for married filers with joint returns, taxpayers might qualify for payments sent no later than March 31st, 2023. So you should have already received that. Here's one thing I just want to say. If you think you qualified for something and you didn't get the payment, don't just sit back and be like, I didn't get it. Oh well. Look into it. Not only for the state taxes, but for federal as well, because there is still over, I believe it's like $1.5 billion in stimulus checks that are still needing to go out to seniors and people that haven't received their $1,200, their $600, or their $1,400 stimulus checks. And you have until, I believe, sometime in July to get those kind of accounted for. And if you don't go and request it by then you will just completely miss out. So don't go and do that. In New Jersey, it says dependent on 2019 income and whether residents were homeowners or renters that year, the Anchor Tax Relief Program will send rebates of $1,500 to New Jersey residents who own homes in 2019 or with a total income of $150,000 or less in 2023. Homeowners with household income from $150,000 to $250,000 should expect payments of $1,000. New Jersey renters with 2019 tax returns showing income of $150,000 or less can anticipate a $450 rebate. Okay? It says eligible New Jersey residents qualify for $500 for every I-10 holder listed on their tax return under the I-10 program. Pretty good. Again, they are coming up with just different ways to send out the same amount of money. It's all it is. Okay? New Mexico. For the first rebate, it's $500 for filers who are joint. Okay? As long as you're head of household or surviving spouses filers with 2021 incomes below $150. $250 for single filers, single residents, and married couples with separate 2021 tax returns. Second amount was $1,000. Again, same thing. $500 for single residents and married couples filing separately. And it says, no, you're not seeing double. There actually were 2 rebates. Okay? New Mexico sent out 2 rebates. It's not a typo. That is what it is. It says New Mexico has rebates planned for residents in 2023 as long as you file a 2021 New Mexico state tax return by May 31st, 2023. Now, here's one thing I just want to say. Why are states saying that if you file a tax return in 2021, then you can get a rebate for 2023? It's actually pretty simple. Over the past few years, there's been a lot of movement. Residents from California have been leaving. There's been an exodus of people leaving California. Other people coming in. It's happening all across the country. Different states, whatever. That's what we're seeing. So instead of giving a rebate for 2023 residents, what they're doing is giving a rebate to 2021 residents or 2020 or whatever, so that those people that were in the state during that time, because again, these are supposed to be pandemic related funds. So how do we give pandemic related funds to somebody in 2023 when technically the pandemic is over? Right? That's the reason why. They're just going back saying, hey, if you filed your taxes, well, you can get a rebate, you can get a credit, you can get this and that. That's all that's really happening. Another one in Pennsylvania. The estimated amount is $250 to $650 for qualifying homeowners, $500 or $650 for eligible renters, and up to $975 for certain senior citizens. It says if you are a Pennsylvania resident at least 65 years of age, a widower at least 50, or a person with disabilities at least 18 years old, then you might be able to apply for a stimulus payment with the property tax rent rebate program. The annual income limit is $35,000 for homeowners and $15,000 for renters. Obviously, it's pretty low. Also note, 50% of Social Security benefits are excluded, as well as a reduction of 70% of any 2021 rebate on property taxes. Okay? And then we got South Carolina. So it says right here, it depends on your filing status for 2021. South Carolina income tax liability minus credits with the rebate amount capped at $800. Due to the effects of Hurricane Ian, South Carolina rebates are set to be delivered in 2 phases depending on the date you filed your tax return, again in 2021, with the state of South Carolina. Now, there's a lot that we can unpack here, Okay, and I just want to be very clear with this. There is stimulus still going out. These are just 7 states. Okay, 7 states are sending out stimulus payments in 2023. But mark my words, we are going to see more. States still have billions and billions of dollars in unused pandemic-related funding that they have to spend before January 1st, 2025. If they don't, all that money goes right back to the Treasury. That state loses it. The residents don't get a benefit from it. It just goes right back to the Treasury. That's it. So states are going to be sending out this money. They're going to figure out ways to, change the name, change the idea, how it gets delivered, whatever. They're going to do what they can to make sure that you, the resident of that specific state, will receive some funds. But again, it's not going to go to everybody. It's not just going to be them handing you a check for $1,200. It's going to go through different methods. All right? So that's what we know at this time. As always, as I know more regarding stimulus, regarding the U.S. economy, and regarding Congress, I promise I will fill you in on all the latest news and updates. All you got to do is 2 things. First off, hit the like button on this video, click that subscribe button and that notification bell so you never miss a video, and I will see you guys on the next one.